Hey everybody, Coburn Sheppick here. Hope you're having a fantastic week. In today's video, I want to talk about how you can take bold action walking into 2023. As you know, fortune favors the bold. So I want to cover three main topics. One, how to reverse negativity to be the driving force of your productivity. Secondly, the cycle of commitment. And lastly, the current economic cycle and how you can take advantage. The world is filled with uncertainty, especially in today's environment where housing and asset prices and businesses and the stock market and inflation, all things are tangled. We have war, we have bad news, we have politics, and this leaves people walking through life with the weight of scarcity and self-doubt. So there's a certain common denominator to people who are successful. And I don't know what it is, if it's something that happened to themselves, they did something to themselves, they told themselves something. Everybody has something negative inside them. People have self-doubt, for example. People are not always confident. People go through hard times. We all have some level of hardship throughout our life. And what the point is that there's certain pain points that we have. Whether it's avoiding something in our childhood, whether it's not having enough money. These are pain points. And the common denominator to successful people is by pinpointing these pain points and reverse engineering them so they are now the driving force of their productivity. Here's the fact. It's fucked up as it sounds. People spend more time and energy on avoiding failure than they do to succeed. So understand your pain points. What is it that you are most scared about? And actually think about it. Look at it. Decide 1, 2, or 3 of those pain points and give it attention. For example, if you are broke, if you really want to make more money, make that very clear that that's a pain point and look at it and give it attention every single day. Pull up your checking account, look at the negative balance, look at the zero balance, look at the few $100s, give it attention, stare at it, think about it, and use that pain that you have around money and do what you can inside of you to make that motivate you to do what it takes to increase productivity and to make more money. Focus on the pain, and there's this crazy force that will impact the way that you react to that pain point. The grass is green where you water it, so give it the attention that it deserves and let that grass grow. The next thing I want to talk about is the cycle of commitment. This goes sort of in line with this reverse engineering of the pain points to drive your productivity. But there's 3 levels of commitment: focus, addiction, and real commitment. So once you have a desire, you naturally begin to focus on that desire. And we pity around in life sometimes. We try new things, we fail at others, we move on from certain things. And once we are moving on or get refocused, the first step in the commitment cycle is getting focused. It's focus. And then if you actually find yourself enjoying that, find it pleasurable, find it fulfilling, then you become naturally addicted to it. You look forward to it. You think about it. You wake up and think about it. You go to bed thinking about it. And the level after that, once you are clear and focused and really enjoying that, you become committed with the decision. And I wanted to add another point here because I think it's part of this process. So we'll call it a 3.5 part cycle of commitment. So the half is what I've experienced once in my life, and I know people who have gone through this, and it's a terrible feeling. And that feeling is burnout. And so burnout is relating to an economic cycle. It is the downturn or the correction or the unwinding of that cycle of commitment, which is important because during that process in any cycle there needs to be room to disconnect, to rejuvenate, to correct things, to reevaluate. And so the point is, the world, you as a person, the economy, everything runs in cycles. There's a year cycle, there's a day cycle, there is an economic cycle, there's a commitment cycle. And so there are 2 sides to this table as well. It's the people on one side who live with the doubt and the fear and the victim And there's the other side of the table where people take advantage, they thrive, they do what it takes, they're productive. This is a mental game. So I want to talk about the cycle and the economic cycle of where we're at in today's environment. Coming into 2023, interest rates are rising, inflation's through the roof. I want to talk about the opportunities that will come so you can be on the right side of the table. In 2008, during the great financial crisis, there was also these two parties. The people that got hurt, they got caught, and they now live with fear. Some of them never even came back from it. But others were actually the other side of the table. These people took advantage of the opportunity because these opportunities only come a very few times in their lives. And so although it was a scary time, it's a different attitude and a different approach in using that fear while everybody's scared to be the driving force of the productivity during that time. And this also comes into playing a long-term game, which most people don't. So we're gonna see a stock market bottom, we're gonna see struggling businesses, we're gonna see a real estate correction. But just like anything, the world runs in cycles. There was always uncertainty. There was always a risk. But for those that focus on what they can control and take massive action, the risk lies on their side. So I want to leave you with 3 actionable items going into 2023 so you can be on the right side of the table. Number 1 is find your driving force. Locate the pain point. Finances, family, past experiences, trauma. Look at those pain points and focus on them. Focus on them because the fact is, when you put focus on something, that area will grow, it will bloom. And so focus, look at the bank account, look at what has happened, focus on what you don't want, and naturally you will do what it takes to avoid that. Secondly, get tuned in, get focused, start the commitment cycle. So get clear on what approach you want to take going into this year, what opportunities you do want to focus on, because we can't do everything, and make sure this aligns with your bigger picture, with your longer term plan. And aside from tuning in, tune out, because there's always going to be people that are giving you advice, that are sharing their input, and it is noise to the mind. It's a distraction. And lastly, make a plan to execute. Know what you're going after, get focused, and understand what very few things, 2 to 5 things that you will do going into this new cycle for you to take advantage. And it's on you to execute. I hope this video helped you today. If you liked it or got something out of it, please give us a like, a comment, a share, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.